Let's call the Board of Selectmen meeting to order for Friday, July 9th at 12 p.m. Could I have a roll call?
Joe Shank present.
Chad Sexton Duranian present.
Veronica Countess. I'd like to announce the meeting is being recorded. It will be live on channel 9 and it will also be posted on the YouTube channel.
All right, you guys gonna have to do something because it's really scratchy. I
Oh, you
can't hear.
can't hear me?
No, now I can. Whatever you're doing.
I am on mute. I'm using chat.
Okay, now
But a
you're
minute
better.
ago, Ronnie, we couldn't hear you at all. Oh, you couldn't hear me call the meeting to order? Right after
Barely.
that, you went out.
Yeah.
All right, so did we get the roll call? Yes. All right, the meeting is being tape recorded, and it will be on the town YouTube channel, and it should also be live on channel 9. I have no additions or deletions. How about you?
Well, I don't know where I should put this in, but I noticed we have under 5.1.2 Finance Cares Act. This is in regards to a conversation I had today in regards to a FEMA account. Would I be better off putting it in there?
Yeah, we'll talk about it there.
Okay,
All right.
perfect. Perfect.
So, okay. Anything else?
I don't have anything.
All right.
I'm good, madam.
Moving on to town administration, updates and reports. SharePoint?
Yeah.
All right.
I put in two separate documents. Joe, I don't know if you've reviewed them or not. One is a Guardian IT inventory. This is what we talked about. I'd like
Yes.
to distribute this to all departments so that they can inventory what they have as far as equipment is concerned and bring it back so that we can, Guardian and myself can go over what we have so that we can look at what is needed so that we can put together plans moving forward with IT.
Yeah, I did review that. Yes.
Okay, so Madam Chair, I don't know if you want us to.
I think what
I can. Veronica.
Can't hear you, Ronnie.
You can't
Yeah.
hear me. All
No,
right.
I
so
can't hear you.
now you can.
Yes, I can't hear
Okay,
you,
so I
Veronica.
just have to be closer to the machine.
Yeah.
All right, so what I'd like to do is, I have to send out an agenda for the 13th department head meeting. And I'll put this on the agenda. And if you want to send that out to all of the departments, and then we can discuss.
Okay.
All right.
Then I move that.
Yeah, you guys, I cannot hear you, Chaz, at all.
See, it's only one or two, so I've got to.
Yeah, something's going on
Yeah. Can't see here, Chaz.
All right, we're gonna make an adjustment here.
there.
Can you hear me, Joe?
Yeah, I can hear you much better. For some reason, as soon as you get out of that picture, just your voice goes right away.
Yeah, it's zooming in on either her or myself.
Now
Okay.
there's feedback.
Now I can't hear Joe at all. Oh, I know why.
All right. Can you hear me, Veronica?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, you guys got wicked feedback.
Is there feedback?
Yeah.
Major feedback.
I'm moving. Oh,
I'm moving.
We need that owl.
Yeah. When's the owl coming, Dave?
Oh,
All right. Are we good?
Is there feedback now?
Not from you. Go ahead, Veronica.
How about for me?
Yeah, good. We're good now.
Good now? All right.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank
All
you.
You're welcome. All right, so we have a motion on the floor to accept the inventory.
Second,
All those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Kell, yes.
And I'll send that out to all the all departments.
That sounds good.
Awesome.
All
Good
right.
job, Jazz.
The next, I have a Guardian onboarding checklist. This is something that we need to fill out and send to Guardian when we have a new employee or we need to make adjustments to the network. I worked with Guardian to get something that we both understand so that when we send it out, they can just go ahead and make the changes instead of having emails and telephone conversations and all of that kind of stuff. I submitted it to Guardian. Guardian gave me the thumbs up, and we just need to have an approval on that too.
All right.
All right.
So this looks good to me. How about? This looks good to me, Joe. How about you?
Yeah, I read it. It looked good. Thank you for putting that together, Chaz. That's awesome. Anything that
Okay.
make everyone's life easy. So I make a motion that we allow Chaz to send out the second letter of inventory and change to Guardian
The onboarding. Yeah. Okay.
onboarding.
I will second that. So all those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Kell, yes. All right.
Okay, the next point of business I have is that the previous changes that we talked about, we have the temporary executive assistant all set up. She's all ready to go. And I also have made the changes to the Conservation Commission. They do have a computer that's there, so I will have that set up for the admin. They have a laptop, so for now, we'll just say that that's for the conservation agent. Make those changes. The telephone number is a dedicated line now, 173. I'll have to look. I didn't write it down. But it's a dedicated line just for conservation that will be answered by the admin once we get an admin for there. But those two are all set up. And as far as the system-wide is concerned, we're going to be meeting on this later, but I just want to say that we're doing really well as far as the system is concerned. There's been no issues.
All right, good. Thank you, Chaz.
Thanks, Jazz. All right, moving on to finances. So let me get that up and running here. 5.1.2. Okay, CARES Act is the first thing. What can and cannot be charged in FY22, given that the emergency order is lifted, was what I had put on the agenda. So we've been doing a lot of looking into the CARES Act. Because we needed to know if the cleaner that we have in Town Hall is still funded, and the answer to that is yes. We also needed to find out if we have COVID-related positions in the summer rec program, and I just need a little more information to report back on that. I've also explored bringing a consultant on board to look at the CARES Act funds that we have received and used as a town and what is still available for us. The consultant, again, I checked with A&F and with the state, and the consultant can be funded through remaining CARES Act funds through the end of October, I believe it is. So I sent a query and it is in the SharePoint. I just sent that yesterday for consulting, reconciliation consulting for the funds that we have had. And I think that's pretty much all I have on that right now.
All right.
So we don't have to
Uh,
take any action on that?
Not yet, no,
Okay.
not yet. Joe, what did you?
Well, I guess, Madam Chair, thank you. So I get a phone call today from the fire chief, and he was asking some questions in regards to the FEMA account that was set up over a year ago, where the FEMA account was set up. I think Shirley Coit was on it, Laurie was on it, Mark was on it, Jay was on it, and Jim was on it. And they set that account up for some of the COVID money was supposed to get deposited into that account when it first started back in March of 2020. I believe that person, no name will be said that it was all set, all taken care of. He was going to make sure that the money was transferred. Today, Chief Boynton reached out to me as the liaison that he got an email showing that they need signatures because evidently that was never done. The $58,000 that was supposed to have been transferred last year hasn't been done. So they're asking for his signature to at least move forward. Madam Chair, I don't know.
Who is they?
The state.
Brian,
the sup-
Brendan Sweeney, is that his name? It's either
He
Brendan or-
didn't give, yeah, he didn't give me a name. So what I thought, because, and not to give you more work, Madam Chair, but you've been so on top of all with dealing with the state. He was going to reach out to the two numbers that were on there and get a little more information to confirm it. And if you don't mind, I think it would be better if you both spoke about it so we don't get third-party info.
I'll call him because I have been, and there was a thing that came in just yesterday. Notification of need to submit a CVR-FMP reconciliation period application.
Yeah, for 58,000.
I don't have anything about specific dollars. This is
Yeah.
more general.
Okay.
And so, and this just came in yesterday.
Yeah, well, he was saying that they were supposed to, it's in regards to the 58,000 that was supposed to get deposited last year into the special FEMA account, but he went on himself and the Shirley, Laurie, Mark, Jay, and Jim, they all were on there. And so when he went in, the money's not there. They're asking for signatures. So if you don't mind, I would rather, just so we don't get ourselves, jammed up, have you talk directly with him
I
and
will do
just
that.
do what we got to do.
Okay, so that, this has all, we just have to figure out where we are with that. I don't think there's anything. We just have to figure out where we are and make sure what we're going to be doing going forward with all
Yeah.
of that funding. So yeah, I'll check in with Mark on that.
Because he was saying that some of that $58,000 was supposed to be being used for some of the things in the fire department, in regards to the police department, and he's just not sure that any of that was ever funded. So he just got some concerns.
Well, it's things that weren't approved by FEMA then have to be picked up by the General CARES Act funds that were allotted to the town, is what I'm learning. And so that it could be, I'll check with him before
All right.
I state anything. Yeah.
Thanks.
It's also why I think it would behoove us to have a consultant to come in and look at what has been done
Mhm.
and where we stand with all that funding going forward. I think we have monies available.
Yeah, perfect.
Because I know we didn't use everything that we had hoped to use, that we allotted for housing, and there are a few other things, so.
Right.
Awesome.
I think that they'll allow us to properly plan for what we have coming up too.
Yeah,
That's good.
I'm not concerned. It's just that we have to see where we are and what paperwork maybe got missed in this transition, if it got missed at all, and whether funds need to be moved from one account to another. So
All right,
within
awesome.
the CARES Act dollars.
Thank you. All right, that's all I had. He called this morning, so that's perfect.
Okay, all right. Let me go back to what I have in there. So that's CARES Act, municipal relief transfers. I think we're done with that. The ones that we had discussed last week, I submitted to the FinCom. I don't know if Andrea is on, is she? She is there. Andrea, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
On the municipal relief transfers, the one that I had submitted for the Board of Selectmen, did that all get looked at by FinCom, or is that still in progress?
No, we voted to approve all of them. Lynn was bringing them in either last night or this morning to put into the accountant's box. And I wrote an email telling them that they were there.
Okay, all right. Then that's that. I think I also sent the revolving fund transfer for the boarding up of, was it 182 Warren Road?
Yep.
And did that make it to FinCom as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'll look for those. I'll talk to the accountant about that. That's all I have on that, unless there are other questions.
No,
No, okay. I think there's still a lot to do to close up 21, fiscal year 21, but I think it has more to do with getting all the bills in and the warrant and all that. So that's that. All right. Moving on to ratification of pay rates for AFSCME supervisors, highway, water, police, and non-union employees. We've been meeting a lot with the union. There's a lot that the union needs to do. I guess I posted what I had. It might not be, this has been changing on almost a daily basis, but we do think we now have everything to where it is going to be for the payroll for FY22. Any reclassifications of jobs are going to be on hold until we go through the job descriptions. So, and that's we could be seeing a grievance on that. So in any event, that's it. So I just wanted to have a motion to ratify the pay rates for the supervisors. We already did clerical, supervisors, highway, water, police, and non-union.
I move that we ratify the pay rates for AFSCME supervisors, highway, water, police, and non-union employees.
second,
All those in, I should ask first, any further discussion?
no, I'm good.
Chaz, you good?
I'm
All
good.
right. All those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes. All right, and I also said including a discussion of minimum wage. For the most part, everybody is paid minimum wage. Those that aren't are temporary summer employees.
Yep.
What was unknown is whether we were going to be putting temp employees on the Collins wage scale, and whether we were going to have a policy that everybody gets minimum wage. So we don't have to vote on this today, but maybe Jared disagrees with that. Maybe Jared would want to say a few words, but in any event, minimum wage in Massachusetts is $13.50 currently. Municipalities are not required to pay minimum wage. So it's not, it's a choice for the community. Minimum wage on our Collins grade scale is grade A, step 3 at $13.53. And I know that there was at least one department that wanted to have their temporary workers at minimum wage. But I don't think we budgeted for that in the budget for FY22.
So I think we should set this up for a discussion on a Tuesday night meeting, I think.
Okay, all right, I can do that. Do you want it July 20th or August 3rd? How
Now
about July
August,
20th?
Tuesday night, sure.
The 20th, not this coming Tuesday. This coming
Yep.
Tuesday is the 13th, the following
Right.
one. I've been working on the agenda for both of those meetings, and July 20th is more open than August 3rd. August 3rd
That's
is
fine.
getting more and more. So let's do July 20th, and that might help Jared out with payroll as well. Jared, you're on, right?
I'm here.
For the second payroll of July, which is where all the FY22 pay rates are going to be in effect. So we'll have to do a little bit of retro. But we just weren't ready for the closeout. That's today. Everything would have had to be keyed in today. And we have a lot of change of status sheets to sign on the shelf in here because they hadn't all come in. So better to do them all at once and then do a retro was the thought. So Jared, is that enough time if we discuss on July 20th for you to do the changes to the few that are not minimum wage?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Then I'll put
You're
that
welcome.
part of it on the July 20th meeting. All right. I think the next one, discussion of vacation, holiday, and sick time accrual and vacation buybacks. I put this on the agenda before we had the meeting on Wednesday with the AFSCME union rep, and I think we are all set on that. Jared, is there anything that I'm missing? I don't think there's anything to discuss. You have that all settled, correct?
Yeah, I think last we spoke, we made final decisions going based off of the policies that are in the actual contracts.
Correct. All right. So we're good with that then. All right. FinCom update. So Andrea, this is your spot. Is there anything that you would like us to address or any questions?
No, not really, except that from the transfers, we're gonna have another meeting and go over it. But from the transfers, some points along the way have come up that we think could improve the situation and questions we have. For example, last night with the vacation buyback, we wondered if that was allowed for in the budgeting for next year, or are we just gonna be caught in the same situation we're caught in this year?
I think that what we discussed, and Jared, you can correct me if I'm wrong, with the union was that extra week of pay that was the memorandum of agreement because people weren't able to take vacation during COVID. That extra week of pay will not be eligible for buyback.
I'm
But
sorry,
else in the normal contract is.
I'm sorry, I wasn't very clear. I didn't mean with the unions, I meant with the TA. That salary line item. Will it,
The salary line item does not include the buyback of vacation.
okay, that's what.
FY
that's-
22, mainly because we weren't
Oh.
anticipating it.
Certainly, we're, a lot of times we have a fall TM. And people have been talking about having a special town meeting in the fall already. So we've been working on things that should probably be addressed at that time. We will talk to the Board of Selectmen in greater detail when we get further along with this project. but we're kicking some things around.
That's good. The other thing, Andrea, that we should get to you once we have it is the FY22 payroll. Because at the fall town meeting, and again, this is something that was discussed in a meeting this week with the DOR, DLS folks, is that we are going to need that fall meeting, because in doing, when we did the FY22 budget, we didn't have the final numbers for the Collins Center agreements. Those were best estimates, but they weren't exact. We are now at a pretty good point. I think Jared and the payroll department has done a lot of work on it. And a lot of the numbers that are there in the personnel part of the FY22 budget aren't accurate. There's pluses and minuses. And in the end, they pretty much balance out. But we were advised that we're going to want to amend those budget lines at a special town meeting in the fall.
Good.
The other thing that's come up is that, and maybe Andrea, you can comment on this, because you were part of this budgeting process. FinCom was. When I say you, I mean FinCom.
Oh, certainly.
The cost for the town's insurance policies is higher than what was expected. And I thought that that was level funded for FY22. I have to go back and listen to the meetings, but I thought that the premium was going to be the same for next year, but in fact, it's not. I think we budgeted 295,000 and it's actually 310. So we are under on that, and we're going to have to figure out how that's going to be paid in FY22. But I really thought that when we did the budgeting, that was level funded. So I'm not sure how that happened.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look at the spreadsheet to find out. I don't have it readily available.
Okay.
And I
So
thought
that's
when we were,
another thing that has
Yeah.
happened just in the past couple of days.
I
I will
thought when
add
we were,
that to our list.
Yes, please put that on your list. It should be there. So, and we'll get the employee spreadsheet to you as soon as we have it pretty close to where we think it's going to be for FY22. There will be changes as we go through the job descriptions. Those were in fact never finalized for Collins. So those need to be finalized. So we have a little bit of work to do there.
That's one question that we had early on in talking regarding this. With the wage matrix, a step is what, 2%?
Correct.
But you're only supposed to take a step if your job has increased or added new things or is better.
No, it's if you have a satisfactory review.
Does it? I don't think, does it say that? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I will have to read it over. I'm not up to date. In the past, a step increase was dependent on the position. We always, and I've always thought this was wrong, have just given it as just strictly a pay raise. If we do it that way, I'm not against that, but we should say what we're doing. We shouldn't imply that people are, if you do unsatisfactory, that's fine. But just to assume that, it should be clear on what it's based is all that I'm saying.
So we can look at the contracts, because we are, the contract that we settled, we are in the third year of a 3-year process. And if you look at the tentative agreement, it was 3% for FY22. So that was on Collins with a minimum 3. And then the settlement, the contract settlement is, and then a step, and then for FY22, another step.
Yep.
So that is the way it was bargained. So this coming year, FY '22, is the third year of that 3-year contract. And there is an evergreen clause. And the whole matrix will be reworked because the matrix is now old, even though we've just adopted it. It is now an old matrix. So the steps will be increased by 1% prior to FY '23. At FY '23, I guess I could say, and be right.
May I ask a
And
question?
then FY '23 will be subject to whatever is negotiated. But the evergreen in the contract is that you will move to the next step, continuing forward, unless the contract is negotiated otherwise.
Adding the 1% to the increase, the step increase, is that you're doing, or is that part of the agreed to process?
That was part of the agreed to process.
Thank you.
So, Madam Chair, may I just kind of,
Sure.
I believe that, we do have enough time before. I'd like to be able to talk with FinCom and really maybe have a separate session with just a joint meeting so that we can not problem solve, but put it all together. That way we can take steps so that in a special town meeting, we are all on the same page.
Right.
The biggest problem we have, and I'm not casting blame at anyone, is just lack of understanding.
Mhm.
And that's why I agree with Chaz. If we had a meeting just to give out complete information,
Yep.
we will be in much better stead.
My opinion is, Andrea, I think any more negotiations or any future negotiations, I think that the finance committee, FinCon, somebody, a representative should be sitting in on those, because your department knows a lot better the situation of our community. And maybe you don't have a lot of input, but at least hear where we're going with that, because I think it's important that we have input from FinCom.
Thank you. But the one flaw in that, and I agree with you, I think it'd be nice. At the end of the whole thing, perhaps that person could inform the FinCom, but while you're in negotiations, they cannot find anything out, because that would be a breach
That's right.
of the negotiation.
I get that.
So I think for the annual, the special town meeting that hopefully we'll have before the tax rate is set in the November, December timeframe. I don't know if we'll be able to make it or not. It depends on where accounting is. But what you guys are compiling your questions, Andrea. So we could have a meeting. I just asked to be after August 3rd. Maybe, I think we have 2 other meetings in August. So the 17th and what would it be, the 31st, maybe? 17th, 14th, 31st. One of those 2 meetings, maybe we could have a joint meeting to sit down, maybe that last meeting in August. By then, we might all have our list of questions.
Yes, the 17th and 31st.
Yeah. So does that sound reasonable to you?
It sounds very reasonable, but we're
Okay.
we're going to think about this and work on these things. And
Mhm.
I think our meeting is around the 3rd too, the first part of August. And so then we could really get our ducks in a row as far as addressing the things for the meeting later in August. It's perfect for us.
Okay, so I'm going to put you tentatively as August 31st. Would that
Okay.
work?
Yep,
Mm.
thank you.
FinCom and BOS. And we can talk about all this, because there's a fair amount to talk about.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
And I will get the numbers for FY '22 to you so that you can start looking at what was in the budget book versus the actual. You're going to have to do a little bit of math, but
Oh dear.
Well, I'd like to be able to, so that we can get some of these items taken care of, so that we can also start the budget process when the budget process needs to be started.
Yeah, I would like to have it start in October.
Well,
Yeah.
I think one of the nice things too, if we take this approach and go over it, maybe then when we go to do the budget process, it will ring a bell and we can avoid it early on, or we can take care of the problem early on.
Correct.
We have familiarity with the numbers, but you're not really as comfortable with it as you are with your own accounts. And we should be comfortable. We should have that comfort level.
I agree.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks for Andrea.
All right.
You're welcome.
Next one is, anything else before I move off of finances? Because that's all I had.
I'm all set.
Did I hit everything that was in SharePoint? I think I did.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, no, I did not. We have one more. I wanted, we have put everyone on Collins except the treasurer collector. And I would like a motion to put the treasurer collector on Collins at a grade F step 1, beginning with the FY22 payroll. And in SharePoint, there is a document, an amendment document.
I did see that.
Excuse me, I thought the treasurer collector as the accountant had the right to request a personal contract.
They
Right.
both have personal services contracts.
Right.
They do. And the way this one was written, it was for fiscal year 21. There was no addressing of fiscal year 22. And my thought process is that as long as everyone is going on fiscal year, is going on Collins, and this is true even if you're temporary, everybody is being put on. The only, except police, because they elected not to, but everybody else is pretty much on Collins.
The
Fire
people,
hasn't been negotiated.
yeah, the people who have personal contracts, can they elect not to go on the matrix?
I suppose they could.
I don't know the rules. Again, it's lack of information. I'm sorry.
When we wrote the treasurer's contract, we did put him on what was the existing matrix at that time. So this would just be putting him on Collins at the same place that he is, but with the Collins rate.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I mean, as far as, and I did see that, I've read it. As far as Jared, I think he's done an impeccable job since he's been here. He's gone above and beyond the call of duty. I know when we hired him, he's under that 1 year. However, we probably would not have gotten the amount of money on tax liens into our community if it wasn't for his hard work and other people supporting him. So whatever we need to do to move forward to make sure we take care of good employees and they last, I'm all for it.
I took the liberty to have Kate drafted an amendment to the personal services contract.
I see
all
that.
it does is put him at step 1, grade F, which is basically where he was on the old wage matrix as well. The rates are different, but for fiscal year 22 through the remainder of the 1-year probationary period.
I'm good with that. Whatever it takes, I'm good with that.
So we will need to amend the line item, but as long as we're doing that at special town meeting anyway, it seemed that we should take a look at this. So is there a motion?
And just a point of Point of order, this is just to amend the contract, the employment contract.
That is correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So I move that we amend the contract between Jared Aponte as treasurer collector to change fiscal year 2022 annual base salary shall be set at Collins Center, step 1, grade F as in Frank, until the termination of the treasurer collector's 1-year probationary period set forth in the contract.
Second.
Any further discussion?
No.
All right, all those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chad Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes.
You guys very much. I do appreciate that.
Well,
Keep up the
we
good-
appreciate
We appreciate
everything that you're
you.
doing. Yeah.
So thank you, Jared, for everything that you've done in helping to get all of the payrolls set. There is still the retro to work on, so so Jared is definitely not done. So great job.
So now he's in the deep end of the pool without a life jacket.
Thank you,
Very
Jared.
much.
For,
Thank you, guys.
thanks, Jared. Been doing a great job. It's a pleasure to deal with you.
Right back at you.
All right, so now that's it for finances. So let's move on. Let's move on to the interim search. I just today put, again, one of the meeting reasons for meeting with the Division of Local Services and DOR earlier this week. It was a meeting that an impromptu meeting that I requested because of several things that had come up and just not knowing exactly how to do it. In the FY22 budget, and this would be one for you to listen to as well, Andrea, for FinCom. We did not budget for an interim TA. So the question was, how do we pay an interim TA? That was one of the reasons for not immediately going out and searching. But they had given me 7 names. And this morning I sent out to the 7 names the letter inviting them to apply for interim TA. So hopefully we did hear back from one just this morning who is already in another interim position, so not a candidate. So we have 6 others, and I will get it up on the MMA website as well. But how do we pay for that? So for now, we do have a line item for a town administrator, and it would need to come from there. We are contractually obligated for every single dollar that's in that FY22 line item for the town administrator. So what they suggested is when we do the special town meeting in the fall, that we then replenish that account. We amend it for whatever we have. We are looking for a part-time, not a full-time, the interim will not be full-time at this point, but it's open to negotiations, so.
Excuse me, is there a time stated in the contract in which the old TA receives his full yearly salary? Can you do what you just talked about? I had thought that he could get it at the beginning of the fiscal year, which means you have nothing in that account.
No, that's not the way that's not the way the memorandum of agreement is written.
Good.
It is if there is a caveat. And I think it's for FY23, that if he were to get a full-time job, then we could pay out the full amount on request, I believe. I'd have to look at it again. But for this year, it goes forward the way it is.
Well, how do we pay him it then at the end of the fiscal year?
Payroll.
Oh, just regular payroll. Oh,
Yes.
fine.
Yes.
All
It's
right.
going forward payroll.
Thank you.
So, good question though, Andrea.
Thank you.
So that's where we are with the interim search. So we have the committee. I said I was going to send something out last week, but I didn't. It's the 3 selectmen. AFSCME clerical is Jody and Janet, and they will confer. They are acting as one. Emmy for supervisor, highway water is Kevin Keefe. The police by default is Kim Matson and Jeff Giles acting as one. Marty Scott for fire, and Jared Aponte and Stacy Shuttler together for non-union employees. So what I would like to do, and again, I'll talk about this at the department head meeting, is that we have meetings set up for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We are not posted for this coming Monday, and we will not be having a meeting on Wednesday. So the earliest there would be a review is Friday, the 16th, I believe it is. Yeah, 9 and 7. So Friday, the 16th, during our noon meetings is where we would review resumes and discuss. And then it would be Monday, Friday. So I'm going to be posting starting next week, Thursday, for the Monday noon meeting for review of interim town administrator candidates for Monday, Friday, until we agree on a hire. So people that are on that committee, send out a notification, but they should be available at noon on Fridays for interim. So we have a decision, which I'm hoping is late July by mid-August latest. So any questions about that?
Nope, all good.
All right. And the candidates, I don't know if I mentioned it, were all given to us by Beck Blake at DLS. So, but there could be others when I put out the general query.
When are we, Madam Chair, going to see those? Or you're going to send them to the board, or wait?
They
until we
are
have
to
them?
reply to selectmen.
Okay,
All
So they'll
right,
come in
all
there.
applications, I asked for selectmen at townsendma.gov.
and we can,
If they choose to do it, it will go Board of Selectmen, attention, interim town administrator search. And it will come to the BOS mailbox if
All
they
right.
do US mail, hard copy letters. So
okay, awesome, thank you.
you're welcome. And I should put all of those letters in SharePoint, should I not? I will do that.
Yes, then we can print them out if you get them by mail. That way we can see them, then we all can print them and then we can review them, start reviewing them.
I'll put together a mailing list for the search committee as well, because these will need to go to them also.
All right,
All right. And next is a discussion or vote on conservation agent candidate. We did yesterday interview a candidate, Chaz, and then Joe, and then me. We candidate that came in for conservation agent. So I just wanted to have a motion on, or a discussion on thoughts on that.
well, Madam Chair, I'd like to, have a discussion for sure. I just want to make it very clear to everybody that the meeting that we had were all individual meetings with this person that was set up all individually. It was not a Board of Selectmen's meeting, so I just need to make sure that's clarified of that, where it wasn't posted. And this particular person, just for the record, submitted an application a while back that evidently we never noticed or didn't get picked up. So that's why we decided to move forward as far as I'm concerned. So with that said, Madam Chair, I think we need to move forward.
More specifically, Joe, the letter sent to us was on May 26, 2021. And it was a letter of interest, a resume, and a town employee employment application that was filled out. So all
Right.
of the requisites for the position were taken care of at that time.
Right.
And I want to add that it fell through the cracks at the end of May through no one's fault. It just did
Yep.
fall through the cracks. And, but she did send a letter a little over a week ago to us, I guess a week ago.
Yeah, follow up.
saying, just following up. She has recently moved to the area from Virginia. And she's well qualified for the position. So anyway, so she followed up with us and we set up an interview for yesterday.
Mhm.
So I guess,
Well, I'll start since I started I had the first interview slot. I agree that she's highly motivated. She definitely has a very good background. She has a good understanding and actually some expertise in regards to wetland delineations. She also worked a lot with U.S. Geological Survey, so she has a lot of GIS knowledge, which I think is going to be important. So my thought is I would like to move to see if we can get her on board.
Okay, and I'll take it from there, Chaz. I had the second interview after you did. And I'm going to reiterate on some of the things that you did say. She was very highly motivated. She was well-versed in wetlands and she knows the rules. She seems like she's a real team player, wants to get things done. I think it's something that conservation's been struggling. They've asked us to handle it. And for me, I was very impressed the way she presented herself and she handled her interview on my end of it. So I will state the same as you. We need to move forward.
and I will concur. I guess I'll just read the first bullet. She worked in a team setting with other environmental scientists while consulting clients on land development projects. She has wetland delineator courses and stream restoration as well. So, and she's interested in working part-time. So that fits our needs. So I would absolutely love to have her on board if she were willing.
So, Madam Chair, I guess I never spoke money. I don't know. How do we move forward with this? So
I did
what's
speak money. I
Oh,
did
good.
speak money. So I was the last interviewer. So I guess. that
So we'll
was a
use
good
your
place
money.
for it. I almost forgot, but I remembered in the end. So anyway, what I would like to do is if we have a motion to go forward with hiring her, I would, or, with going forward with the hire, I will check references and write up an offer letter. And that I would put forward and we could appoint at our next meeting if everything was as it should be.
I'd like to add one thing. In our conversation, I did explain our community and the understanding that she does have in regards to being an agricultural community as well. She spoke very eloquently in regards to the specific needs of our particular town, which I thought was really nice. But I want to throw that out there too, that she's done her research. She came in very well prepared for the interview. So having said that, the motion that you're looking for, Madam Chair, is to present an offer to
go forward with, I would like to check references.
Yeah, first.
So to go forward with the intent to hire and put together an offer letter
Okay.
for consideration at our next meeting.
So moved.
And, we could, if, I could send the offer letter if you're, well, usually we appoint first and then send the letter. So, yeah, so,
Well, my opinion, Madam Chair, for all it's worth, for all what we're going through right now and still going through with conservation, for me, I truly feel she fit the bill. I mean, I see some of her, her information on her cover sheet and her paperwork she submitted. She seems very well qualified. We need to do whatever we got to do to expedite this, only for the reason we need to move forward in conservation, get everybody organized, get a good feeling back there. We still have the August 3rd conservation meeting pending over us. So I would like to see us move as diligently as we can to get this done.
that's the plan.
That's the
So-
plan, yeah. So I move that we move forward with, can I say your name?
I don't think we should at this time.
So to move forward with the candidate to check references?
Yes, I second that.
And prepare an offer. letter.
Prepare an offer letter.
So, all right.
Second.
All right, so I will go forward with that. No, all those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Jess Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes.
And I think that name needs to not go out to public until we officially have
Make
moved
the
forward
offer.
on that. Absolutely.
All right. All right, so we'll do that. That will be on the agenda for the Friday, July 16th meeting. And,
Awesome.
yeah.
Good job,
all right.
everybody. Good
Yeah.
job.
All right, the next one is the discussion of the credit card policy. This is something that was changed last fall. And I guess what I would like to do is review it. And in particular, I'd like to take a look. Did that come up? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, it's that preview thing, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Did you put that in SharePoint, madam?
I did.
That was in there.
The use of credit cards _0, or you can go to the website and you can look at the credit card policy, which I think is what I'm going to do. I have just been made the co-host. All right, so I might try screen sharing. Let me get this up here first.
All right, let me try to find it too.
In particular, it would be interesting to see how this was implemented. Because it's unclear. There is at least one account that appears to be being billed to Guardian, but it's not for anything that Guardian has purchased. But the statements go to Guardian, and the funds come directly out of what I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive it's the implementation of this credit card policy. And okay, so now I'm going to go back and try to screen share.
So I'm confused. It's a credit card policy we have that we're taking from the citizens? Is that what you're talking
Oh, no,
about?
no. No, it's a credit card policy for how purchases happen. No, this isn't working right for me right now.
All right, Joe, in essence, when you have some type of internet service or IT, a lot of times in the organization is looking for credit cards so that if it's billed monthly, then they can bill monthly, or a credit card number is given so that it guarantees that they are going to get paid. So if somebody doesn't go through with payment, they can charge the credit card.
All right, I got it.
Okay. All right, so what we're looking at with the use of the credit cards is we're talking the town owning a credit card that's given out to a vendor.
It was initially done because people, department heads were in need of, I can't share my screen. I don't know why it wants me, says I don't have the right system preferences set, so.
That's okay.
It was originally done because people were using their personal credit cards to charge Zoom accounts.
Okay.
Because if you have a Zoom account, the only way to get one is via a credit card. And people were using their personal credit cards. Employees were using their
Yeah.
personal credit cards and then filing for reimbursement. So the thought was it would be a good idea, especially with COVID, to be able to use a credit card. But now it looks like we aren't really sure how it's being budgeted. And we imagined that there would be, at least I imagined, I shouldn't say we, that there would be like a Lowe's credit card in the drawer somewhere, and someone who needed to use it would go and get it from the accountant and use it. But in fact, I believe the implementation is a little bit different from that. So what we would like to do is review this policy going forward. First, investigate exactly the implementation, and then see if we want to change this somewhat.
Who has the credit card? Where's
It is
it
an
going?
automatic draw. I don't know who has the physical credit card, but what we're seeing, only because Guardian provided the bills for this, and it was a little mystifying at first. They are receiving the statements. The payments have already been made. They're made directly from a Wells Fargo account that the town has.
I'd be very hesitant about doing anything with that. I'd put a stop to that until we know. I mean, if there's credit cards, who issued it? Who got the credit card? I mean, there's got to be something somewhere. I have corporate credit cards. I get that, but someone's got to be, it's got to be a card somewhere. Someone has to be responsible. Then just, okay, charge on this card, and it's going to go into a bank account and they're going to send us a statement. I could never in my right mind do that.
So what
Madam
the
Chair?
terms?
This is
yes.
Jared.
Yeah, Jared, go ahead.
So I have a town credit card, which to my understanding is the only town credit card that is in anybody's possession. So that something coming out of Wells Fargo, that would be news to me, and I don't think that is necessarily appropriate.
I don't think so.
So let me just read terms of use. The maximum limit total to be charged by any department shall not exceed $1,000 per fiscal year unless authorization is received by the town accountant. Unless approved in advance by the town accountant, charges shall not exceed the budgeted amount. Only items for direct use of the department in pursuing departmental operations are allowed. No charges shall be incurred for personal use by town personnel authorized to use said credit card. And I do not at all think anything is being used for personal. Jared, just out of curiosity, does anybody ask you about using that, or have you ever seen any statements for it?
I used it personally for our fax service, and then the only other time it's been used since I've been here was to basically just have it on file, but nothing was actually charged to it. That was for facilities. Yeah. So besides that, though, everything should be going regularly through the accounts payable process. Nothing should really.
Has anybody even contacted this Wells Fargo? Find out who set it up, when it was set up? I mean, I think
this has only just come to our attention.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So I think that's something that's really important. I think if it's an automatic billing, I mean, I'd be very hesitant.
I just want to caution both of you that this agenda item is for the use of credit cards.
Okay.
All right, this is what we're here to talk about. The policy, that's what's on the agenda. So I want to
Okay.
be
Well,
pretty
then,
clear about that. But as far as what I'm seeing, that the types of credit cards according to the policy, it says restricted cards, major credit cards, which is MasterCard, Visa, Discover. Wells Fargo, I would assume, falls under that category, correct?
Yes.
So, that's definitely not part of what this policy is. I see the policy. I don't see anything wrong with the policy itself, but what we probably need to do is to have a discussion about or have people look into, are there other credit cards out there that we don't know about that are issued to the town, and how would we find that out?
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I don't know who all has them, and I don't know at the moment if they still have them. But I do know that the water department had many, many credit cards.
Okay, well, that's good to know. All right, I would
why
assume.
don't we put this on the agenda so we can reword it, and that way we can get into it a little bit deeper, so we don't get
Well,
ourselves in
yeah,
trouble.
I wanted to review the credit card policy and then also be able to review the implementation of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think is why we have it here, not for any other reason. So, and I think I'm trying to remember the changes. I think we upped the amount to 1,000. I think it used to be either 200 or 500. I'm not sure. So we changed it last fall, September. It was last September.
Yeah, it was revised in September 1st of 2020.
Right. So I just think we want to review this. This is why it's here. And we want to be able to, I think I want to be able to research the implementation of this.
So
I'm good
I
with that.
personally don't see any problem with the policy, the way it's written.
So what we need to review then is the implementation of the policy.
That's what I'm seeing. Yes.
Okay.
We'd have to
That's,
have control of that. We'd have to know who's implementing it, who's doing what with it.
Mhm.
So the policy's good, which we got a policy, but we need to find out how is it implemented, who's got it, why, how, why, and what, I guess is what I'd say.
Right. So if we can quote from the policy, the credit card is the responsibility of the town accountant and under his or her direct control. So I think that we would need to talk with the town accountant in regards to what is out there, what is coming in, and then make, a plan of action from there.
Mhm.
That sounds good to me.
Yep, that sounds good to me.
All
Make a
right.
motion on that.
Is there a motion to review the implementation of the credit card policy?
Madam Chair, I move that we look into the implementation of the credit card policy with the town accountant.
Second,
All those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chad Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes. All right, so that's that. Moving on to the next is to discuss and vote on a letter of support for MRPC's application for a RAISE grant to fund a regional climate change resiliency plan for the Montechusett region. So it's MRPC that is applying for the grant. It's a federal grant, and they're doing it for our whole region, and they're looking for letters of support from all the town. So Chaz, I'm going to turn this over to you because you're the one that worked on the letter.
So just so everybody is aware, this is called a RAISE grant, which is a regional climate change resiliency plan. And that's for the Montechusett region. by establishing a regional climate change resiliency plan for the Montechusett region, which entails 22 communities with a total population of 244,482 individuals. A better understanding of the regional needs in relation to climate change and its impacts will be identified, and proper preparations will be established and implemented. Climate change planning represents an opportunity for the Montechusett region to build necessary community resilience through adaptation and mitigation strategies. The MRPC will initiate a planning process to assess vulnerabilities from the predicted impacts of climate change and develop an action plan for implementing adaptation and mitigation strategies. With what the town has already been doing, there is an MVP action grant application that is, Townsend is looking at the resilient water supply and assessment. We have also got an application out for the green communities for 2021. We have a regional energy program assistance.
Andrea, you got to
Hello?
mute. Andrea, you got to mute.
We have a regional energy program assistance that we had set out with the Energy Committee that is outstanding. We have a planning assistance grant for the update of Townsend's open space and recreation plan. The Water Department has submitted a master plan to the town, and we're awaiting the 2021 Townsend Master Plan update. These are all important things that we'd be able to share with the other communities. So, Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the letter that I had put in, basically supporting this effort with MRPC and having Townsend join with the other communities.
Second.
All those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Thanks for doing that, Chaz. Great job.
Yep. All right, any reports from board liaisons?
No, as far as fire department, public safety, I'm going to start a little more frequent with the fire and police department because of all the vacations everybody's had. So starting next week, I'll be on somewhat of a schedule to meet with them a little more regularly.
Great. All right, I have nothing.
I have a couple of things.
Okay.
I always have a couple of things.
You do, don't you?
Number one, Recreation Department. I just want to say that we have an incredible turnout for the summer program this year. Incredible to the point where they're busting at the seams. They have enough staff to be able to accommodate, but they're running into some problems with space. They've reached out to me to ask what we can do to help out. They're at Hawthorne, using the gym and using the field, and with the rain that we've had, it's been very difficult for them to have everybody within the gym. So I've reached out to the principal and asked if we would be able to use the area outside of the gym and or the band room. And we did get the Recreation Department got an email back from the custodian saying that we wouldn't be able to use those spaces. But I would like to know what we can do to see if we can get some more space. We've also, the director also reached out to North Middlesex, and they do not have space available over there as well. So I guess I'm letting everybody know that this is what's going on, and we definitely need some kind of space and what we can do to accommodate.
Didn't they use the Great Hall last year for rec?
Anything else?
Well, the Great Hall was part of, yes, they did. Yes, they did. And it was a COVID cares thing, but yes, they did.
Are they using that again this year, or we're not doing that?
That's another option that's available to them.
What
Okay.
they would like to do is if they could get the room outside of the gymnasium or the band room in the same facility, they wouldn't have to be going all over town.
I gotcha. Yeah. All right.
So that's kind of what it is. I'm actually happy that they're busting at the seams because that says that, you know, the kids are at least getting, you know, being able to be part of something that's Townsend, that makes Townsend Townsend. So what I guess I'm going to be talking with the director later on this afternoon to find out where they are with that, and then go from there.
All right.
The next one I have is Cemetery and Parks. I did receive, they are looking to hire 3 temporary individuals. And Madam Chair, how would you like me to deal with that? Do we?
I think we need to put those on as appointments, and we can do them next Friday because that is our next meeting. They did not come in until, you know, 2 minutes before the meeting. So we'll put those on for appointments for next week, Friday, which is our next meeting.
Okay, so do you want me to scan this and put it in SharePoint?
Yes. Well, no, I don't think I do. I want the names. There's like one sheet that I'm gonna want.
Yep. Yeah, I can put
Yeah.
that has the commissioners.
Mhm. So we'll make the appointments next Friday. I don't know, do they have a start date listed? Because they can't start until we appoint them.
Once the approved by the Board of Selectmen, please return. I guess. It doesn't say. Because they just met yesterday on the 8th.
Our next meeting is the 16th. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thought is these are on call so it's, you know, that they don't have an on-call pool. And on the employee action form, it's on call, temp seasonal.
Okay, then it should be fine for Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll do appointments.
Oh, is it all right?
Friday, July 16. Cemetery and Park. All right.
Okay.
That is good. All right, announcements or communications? Our next meeting will be Friday, July 16th at noon. And then after that, the following week, the 19th, the 20th, and the 20, 21, 22, and the 23rd. It's a Friday. We should have a motion then for, and I do have it on the agenda, for signing payroll and bills payable warrants out of session next week, the week of 7/12. So is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I vote to sign, I move to sign payroll and bills payable warrant out of session for the week of 7/12.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes. All right, so with that, we are going to be moving into an executive session and not returning to open session. So is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we go into an executive session pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A4, to discuss the deployment of security personnel or equipment or strategies with respect thereto and regarding town buildings, phone systems, and computers.
Is there a second?
Second. Second.
All those in favor of going into executive session and not returning to open session?
Joe Shank, yes.
Chaz Sexton Duranian, yes.
Veronica Cal, yes. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Veronica, would you like me to keep my computer on during the executive session?
No, I don't think so.
So
Thank
so I
you.
can get off with everyone else?
But he'll
Um,
cut us all off if he gets off,
As
right?
long, am I the host?
No, well, I made you co-host. And I made Joe co-host because I thought you were going to do the screen share. But I don't know if I get off, I don't know if that's going to let you remain on.
So, Madam
Um,
Chair, why don't we do like we used to, have him just leave that room, get everybody off and just leave that room and let it run until
That
we're
will
done.
work.
Yep, I think that's the safest way to do it.
Okay, then what we can do is all go out and then come back in. Can we do that?
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you want me to leave?
Yeah.
Want me to leave my computer on?
Hang on, Hartley. Joe,
Okay.
Send you a ID and a password.
What's that?
I'll send you a user ID and a password
All
for
right,
the,
send
for
me
a
a
new
new
room.
one, sure,
Perfect.
and then we'll
All
just all
right,
get out.
yeah, let's
Okay,
do it
perfect.
that way. All right,
All
yes,
right,
shut
thank
down
you.
Hartley, that's perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
anyhow, so I can shut down and shut everything.
Yes, you can. You can
Okay,
shut
all right.
down.
Thank you
We're all
very much.
leaving. See ya, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.